episode, I talk about what I'm doing in my little round garden and passing my inspection. Stay tuned!
Hi, I'm Becky. I moved to the country and built the log cabin of my dreams. And now I enjoy the simple life. This is the life of making things, growing a garden, raising animals, connecting with my community, and making a home. This is Becky's Farm TV.
Hi, I'm Becky. Welcome to my homestead. In this episode, I'm going to show you the progress I've made in my little round garden. I'm also going to talk about the inspections I've passed recently. Let's go outside to the garden.
Tango. Who's a good tango?
Today, I'd like to show you some of the things I've been doing in my little circle garden this year. I've made improvements slowly, but the more work I do in my garden, the more I love it. The first thing I'd like to point out is the fabric roof up above us. I was having a problem with the hot sun just baking my garden dry, and my little plants were dying very easily. So I needed to cover it so it has partial shade and the soil can stay moist. The good thing about that I've noticed is I can definitely conserve on water. I only water my garden once a day. And everything's doing really, really well this year. I'm not having any problems. So hopefully this will be my best year yet of gardening. I do want to talk about the fertilizer I'm using, which is all natural. And if we can turn around, it's over here. And what this is pasture scraps that I've raked up in my pasture. It's a combination of little tiny bits and pieces of hay and some horse manure. It seems to be enough. I put it in here quite heavy. It stays moist when I water, and then it disintegrates and improves the soil. And this is what's leading me to believe it's really good fertilizer, because I have to get a shot of this blackberry bush over here. There are literally thousands of blackberries on this little tiny bush, and I have not used any fertilizer whatsoever. And just behind it is my rose bush. Once again, absolutely no fertilizer except for the pasture scraps. And I have cut roses off this bush twice so far, and I have counted as many as 25 roses on that little bush at one time. So using organic material obviously provides enough for what I'm growing here on a small scale. My onions are doing really well. You can start to see the onions here. They're getting bigger now. You know, I could wait a little so you can see better. But you can see the onion bulbs. Here's a pretty big one right here that are coming. It sticks out a little bit, so I'm so excited about my onions this year, because last year my onions were so tasty and so delicious. We just gobbled them up. They didn't have a strong pungent taste to them. They were tasty, but they just weren't pungent tasting. So we were really happy with the onions. What I'd like to tell you about is the frame I built to support the fabric cover. Obviously, being a fabric, which is a garden fabric. It's not a clothing fabric. It's a garden fabric that I did buy at the, I think it was Lowe's I purchased this. You don't need a huge frame. So what I did was just use 4 4x4s, and then the rest of the frame is 2x4s. Obviously it's not supporting a lot of weight, so that's sufficient to hold up the little fabric roof. It makes such a difference in my garden because we do live in Florida. So I'm just so happy with my garden with the little roof, and most importantly, I think all my vegetables are happy. I came up with the idea of putting a sprinkler on the roof up here because I just thought that would be effective spraying. Get out of the garden, kitty. No cats allowed in the garden. I attached a sprinkler to the roof up here because I thought that would be effective. Turning the sprinkler on and it could just spin. So the sprinkler works really well. What I do is I just screw the hose into the sprinkler while I'm doing my other farm chores. I don't leave my sprinkler on for hours. I just do it for 30 minutes possibly while I'm just doing my other farm chores, feeding my horses and whatnot. So the fabric roof has helped me conserve. Before I was watering a lot and it just still wasn't enough. It was still baking dry. So my recommendations is if you have just a little garden and that's all you need, maybe spending the money on the fabric roof is worth it for you. I know it is me because I like to spend time in my garden.
I know it is me. It is for me.
Okay. I know it is for me because I like spending time in my garden. I figure, a little fresh vegetables and fruit is very good for you. So I'm not very good at gardening yet, but I'm having so much fun learning and trying. I encourage you to do the same. I'm happy to report I recently passed my rough electrical, rough plumbing, framing, and insulation inspections. I want to point out, if you come to an area of your home, for me it was electrical. It was so hard and so tedious. I never gave up, and with the help of Scott, bit by bit, we accomplished the electrical. So if you're having similar problems on an area of your home, just stick with it and you'll make it through, just like we did. You have your blueprints ready and you have your building permit, which has little areas that the building inspector checks off when you pass. Then I give him space. He walks around and he looks at everything he's supposed to look at. Sometimes they'll take a look at the blueprints, sometimes they won't. So you have to give him time to do that as well. And then if he has any questions for you, you just stand there and answer the questions. And when he's satisfied, he signs off on all the particular areas that you're having inspected that day. For me, it's nerve-wracking because I'm just nervous when that happens. I'm hoping I did everything right and that he'll be happy with it. So far, so good. I've passed every inspection, thankfully. So just do a good job when you're building your house, and I don't think you'll have any problems passing your inspections. Thanks for watching. Please email me with your questions and suggestions. Happy homesteading. Bye-bye. If you haven't already, go to beckysfarm.tv and sign up for my newsletter. Through the newsletter, I will send you news and encouragement to all homesteaders wherever you may live.